Have you got a tight IT band? Does the side of your leg give you jip? Do you get pain on the outside of your knee and you can't work out why? Why running is hard, why getting up and off the floor is challenging? Here's some ways that you can look after your IT band, no matter whether you are fit and healthy or whether you're finding that you're struggling to get up and down off the floor. So what is an IT band? It stands for the iliotibial tract, and it belongs to a set or a link of fascia down the outside of your thigh, which has got various attachment points. At the top of your hip here, so if you find your hip bone, at the top of the hip here, you can feel that bit of muscle and maybe a bit of padding. And this muscle works to do something called abduction of the hip. It doesn't work alone, it works with other muscles, in particular the glutes, which is another muscle we need to look after. But from there, what you're going to find is you've got a long piece of fascia that comes down and attaches just below the kneecap here. But when it is tight, your knee moves out of position. So if you think of this as your femur, you think of this as the bottom two bones of your body, your patella sits like a little scallop on the outside of the knee. So as the knee bends, that little scallop shape goes into the middle of the knee, and then it works like this. So it sits on the outside of the knee and comes into the knee and protects the knee joint. When your IT band is tight, what happens is it pulls that patella slightly to the side so that when you open and close your knee, instead of it fitting nicely into the groove, it rubs onto the side of the bone. Now, over time, this can lead to loss of cartilage and arthritis. So you want to make sure that the tracking of this patella is in the middle. There are many things you can do, but today we're going to look at this outside part of the hip. Now, it's not easy to work, okay? Because number one, it's a little bit painful to touch. And number two, if it is tight, then that whole lumbar stability area just kind of feels all stiff and awkward. These are some of the exercises that I find really help. I'm going to teach them from a Pilates perspective, but there are different ways of doing it. So this session is going to be around 20 minutes. It's up to you whether you just want to watch it and listen and pick up a few tips, or whether you want to try it with me. Remember, if you've got any concerns, always check with your GP or drop me a message and I'll see if I can help. So as ever, we want to check that your posture is in the right place. And this is all to do with the alignment of the bone structure. Ideally, you want your feet to be hip distance apart, and you measure that by taking the middle part of the kneecap towards your second toe, okay? From there, place your hands onto the bony part of the front of your pelvis, and you want to press the front of the pelvis forward so that